My beloved one, I know what you've been carrying in the hollow space where something precious used to be. That job that dissolved beneath your hands like sand through fingers. That relationship that crumbled despite every prayer, every effort, every midnight plea for one more chance. That dream you buried because watching it die felt like watching yourself die. You wake some mornings and the loss hits fresh, sharp as the crack of a chrysalis splitting open. And you wonder if you'll ever stop feeling this raw, this exposed, this stripped of everything you thought defined you. But child of my heart, what if I told you something that will reframe every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you thought you were losing? What if the loss wasn't the end of your story, but the preparation for an upgrade so profound that you'll look back and weep with gratitude for what had to fall away? The chrysalis doesn't split because the caterpillar is dying. It splits because wings are coming, and what's emerging can't be contained by what used to hold it. There's a sound that winnowing makes when the chaff separates from the grain. The farmer tosses the harvest into the air, and the breeze catches what's light and worthless, carries it away, while the kernels, the heavy, valuable part, falls back into the basket, gleaming and ready. It looks like loss if you're the chaff. But if you're the grain, if you're what remains after the wind has done its work, you realize the winnowing wasn't destruction. It was preparation. It was removing what couldn't sustain you, what couldn't nourish you, what couldn't become the bread you were meant to be. My child, that's what's been happening to you. I've been winnowing, and I know it's felt brutal, watching pieces of your life blow away in winds you couldn't control. But what's left, what's gleaming in the basket of your life right now, is pure gold. And I'm about to take that gold and forge something magnificent. Welcome to Holy Spark Soul if you're here. You know what it means to grieve loss that felt like it would break you? To stand in the rubble of what was and wonder if anything good could ever grow there again. You've been told to look for the silver lining, to count it all joy, to just have faith. And none of those platitudes touched the depth of your pain. This channel exists because shallow comfort doesn't heal deep wounds. Today, we're exploring something that sounds impossible until you see it with spiritual eyes. Your loss wasn't random, wasn't punishment, wasn't evidence that I don't care. It was preparation. Strategic, intentional, loving preparation for an upgrade in your life that couldn't happen until the old structure came down. If this is your first time here, subscribe and turn on notifications, because we're building a community that believes God wastes nothing, not even our losses. Let's start with what loss actually does when you let me work through it instead of fighting against it. Loss reveals what was brittle, what was cracking under pressure you couldn't see, what would have catastrophically failed later if it hadn't come down now. That job you lost, it was capping your potential, keeping you small, draining you in ways you'd normalized. That relationship that ended, it was founded on compromises that were slowly eroding who I created you to be. That dream that died, it was too narrow, too safe. Too much about your glory instead of mine. I don't say this to minimize your pain. I say it because I need you to understand that loss isn't just subtraction. It's demolition that clears space for construction. It's the refining fire that burns away impurities so pure metal remains. And my beloved one, what I'm building on the cleared ground, what I'm forging from the refined metal, it's an upgrade beyond anything you had before. Think about Joseph. 17 when his brothers sell him into slavery out of jealousy so toxic it poisoned family bonds. He's trafficked to Egypt, enslaved to Potiphar, falsely accused of assault, thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit. Years bleed into more years. He interprets dreams for fellow prisoners, and the one who's released forgets him for 2 more years. If you'd told Joseph in that cell that he was being prepared, that the pit and the palace were connected by divine design, do you think he'd have believed you? But watch what I was doing. Every injustice was teaching him leadership. Every betrayal was forging integrity. Every lonely night was deepening his dependence on me instead of circumstances. And when Pharaoh has a dream no one can interpret, when the cupbearer finally remembers, when Joseph is pulled from the dungeon and stands before the most powerful man alive, he's ready. Not despite the preparation. Because of it, child of God, Pharaoh doesn't just release Joseph. He elevates him to second in command of an empire, from prisoner to prime minister in one day. That's an upgrade. And it could only happen because the loss had prepared him. The pit taught him humility. The false accusation taught him to trust my justice over human fairness. The prison taught him to use his gifts even when no reward was in sight. When his brothers eventually stand before him, desperate and terrified, Joseph says something that unlocks everything. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Meant past tense, intentional, strategic. The loss wasn't random chaos. It was divine preparation for an upgrade that would save nations. Consider David, anointed as king while he's still a shepherd boy, but the throne doesn't come immediately. First comes Saul's jealousy, spears thrown at his head, years running for his life in wilderness caves, hiding in enemy territory, losing people he loves, watching the kingdom he was promised remain out of reach, while he lives like a fugitive. If you'd asked David in those caves if this was preparation, if this was leading to anything good, what do you think he'd have said? But my beloved one, watch what the wilderness did. It stripped away his dependence on crowd approval. It taught him to worship when no one was watching. It forced him to develop skills in obscurity that would make him effective in visibility. It refined his heart through sorrow so that when he finally took the throne, he could write psalms that would comfort billions across millennia. The loss of comfort, safety, stability, it was all preparing him for an upgrade he couldn't have handled without the refining. Then there's the disciples after the crucifixion. They've given up everything to follow Jesus. 3 years of miracles, teaching, hope, building toward a kingdom they thought was coming, and then he's arrested, beaten, crucified, dead, buried. It's over. They're devastated, hiding behind locked doors, convinced they bet everything on a losing hand. Peter goes back to fishing, back to what he knew before Jesus called him. They cast nets all night and catch nothing. Empty nets. Loss, compounding loss. And then morning breaks, and Jesus is standing on the shore, and he tells them to cast on the other side. They do, and the nets nearly break with the abundance of fish, so much that they can't haul them in alone. Child of my heart, that's the pattern. Loss, then upgrade. Empty nets, then overflowing abundance. But the emptiness had to come first, because they needed to learn that their provision didn't come from their skill, their effort, their strategy. It came from my word. And when Jesus tells them to cast on the other side, when obedience yields overflow, they're ready to receive the upgrade, ready to be fishers of men instead of fish, ready to build a movement that would change the world. The loss prepared them for something bigger than they'd imagined. Let's go to the promises that anchor this truth. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. For those who are called according to his purpose, all things, not just the pleasant things, not just the blessings, all things, including the losses. I'm weaving them together for good, taking threads that look dark and painful and incorporating them into a tapestry that reveals glory you can't see yet, while you're still in the weaving." The loss isn't outside my plan, it's central to it. Joel 2:25 promises, "I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten." Restore, not just replace, restore with abundance, with accelerated fruitfulness, with harvest that makes up for famine. The locusts devoured years of your life, seasons that felt wasted, lost, stolen. But my beloved one, I'm about to restore in ways that compress blessing, that give you in months what should have taken decades, that upgrade your life so profoundly you'll struggle to remember the pain through the gratitude. 2 Corinthians 4:17 tells us, "For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison." Preparing, present tense, active voice. Your loss isn't just something you endure. It's actively preparing you for glory, for weight, for substance that couldn't exist without the affliction. And when the glory comes, when the upgrade manifests, you'll see that the affliction was light and momentary compared to what it produced. Not because it didn't hurt, because what's coming is so much heavier, so much more significant. So how do you step into this upgrade? How do you cooperate with what I'm doing instead of staying stuck in what you lost? Child of God, you start by sifting the memories in dawn's quiet light. You look back at what's gone and you ask, what did this teach me? What flaws did this reveal in my foundation that I need to address? What patterns did this expose that I can't carry into what's next? You reclaim the gold from the ash. You honor what was good, learn from what was broken, and refuse to let bitterness poison the soil where new things want to grow. Then you plant forward. You take acts of bold trust in the fertile voids the loss left behind. You apply for the position that feels too big. You start the business you've been putting off. You say yes to the invitation that scares you. You invest in relationships that feel risky because you've been hurt before. You don't wait until you feel ready. You move while you're still healing, because that's what faith looks like. It looks like planting seeds in ground that's still tender from the tilling. Trusting that I'll bring the harvest in my timing, and my beloved one, you envision the upgrade. You pray specifically about what's coming. Not vaguely asking me to make things better, but describing in detail what you sense I'm preparing. You sketch the blueprints in prayer's quiet. You write the vision down so you can run with it when the door opens. You prepare practically for what you're believing for spiritually, because faith without works is dead, and preparation proves you actually believe the upgrade is coming. Here's what the upgrade is going to look like. It's going to be bigger than what you lost. Not just quantitatively, but qualitatively. Better relationships, not just more of them. Deeper purpose, not just higher income. Stronger faith, not just easier circumstances. The job that replaces the one you lost will align with your gifts in ways the old one never did. The relationship that follows the one that ended will be founded on health you didn't know was possible. The dream that emerges from the ashes of the old one will be connected to my purposes in ways that make the first version look like a rough draft and child of my heart. The timing is going to astonish you. Just when you think it's been too long, just when you're starting to accept that maybe the upgrade isn't coming, I'm going to move suddenly. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. Opportunities will find you that you didn't chase. People will appear with resources, connections, wisdom that accelerate everything. What looked impossible on Tuesday will be in motion by Friday. That's how I work. I prepare in secret and reveal in suddenness. And when it happens, when the upgrade manifests, you'll know beyond doubt that this was me, that this wasn't coincidence or luck, that I orchestrated every detail. But there's something I need you to understand about upgrades. They come with increased responsibility. Joseph didn't just get a better title, he got the weight of saving nations from famine. David didn't just get a crown, he got the burden of leading a kingdom through war and intrigue. The disciples didn't just get miraculous catches, they got a commission to lay down their lives spreading the gospel. My beloved one, the upgrade I'm bringing you will stretch you. It will require more of you than what you had before. More faith, more character, more dependence on me, but it will also fulfill you in ways you've never experienced, because you'll finally be walking in the purpose I designed you for, instead of settling for something smaller. There's a reason I keep calling you my beloved one, my child, child of my heart, because I need you to hear the tenderness behind the refining. I need you to know that every loss has been filtered through my love, that I haven't been careless with your heart, that the upgrade is worth the preparation even though the preparation hurt. The chrysalis split wasn't punishment, it was release. The winnowing wind wasn't cruelty, it was purification. And what's coming, what's about to emerge, it's going to make you grateful for every tear, every loss. Every moment you thought you wouldn't survive, reflecting on passages like this through a psychological lens, can illuminate how ancient expressions of refinement and renewal mirror our own inner dialogues, fostering resilience through honest expression. Yet if these themes stir deeper unrest, a conversation with a wise counselor might offer tailored clarity. But here's the word I'm sealing over you today. The preparation is complete. The ground is cleared. The metal is refined. And the upgrade is imminent. Not someday vague and distant. Soon, watch for it. Open doors. Sudden opportunities. Divine connections. Resources appearing from unexpected sources. Peace settling over decisions that used to paralyze you. All of it evidence that what I've been preparing in secret is about to be revealed. And when it manifests, when you're standing in the upgrade looking back at the loss, you'll understand that it had to happen this way, that the sequence was sacred, that the loss was the sculptor's chisel revealing the masterpiece. Hidden in the marble all along, if this word awakened hope you've been afraid to feel. If you're starting to see your loss through new eyes, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below with your favorite scripture about restoration, about God working all things together, about preparation yielding glory. Share what you're believing for, what upgrade you're sensing, what you're learning to trust me for in the void. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Holy Spark Soul and turn on notifications. We're here every week exploring how I speak in the valleys, how I work in the waiting, how I upgrade through loss. I'd also encourage you to watch our deep dive into Psalm 109 next. where we explore how even our angriest prayers become altars of preparation. My beloved one, go from this place knowing your loss wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something immeasurably better. I'm about to upgrade your life in ways that will leave you breathless, grateful, astonished that you ever doubted my goodness. The preparation is done. The upgrade is coming. And you, child of God, you're ready. Not because you're perfect, because you've been refined. Wings are emerging from the chrysalis. Grain is gleaming in the basket. And the life I'm about to give you is going to make everything you lost look like kindling for the fire that forged your glory. Trust me. Watch for me. Step forward when I open doors. The upgrade is here, and it's more than you imagined. I'll see you in the next one.